Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to the return of F1 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the start of season number 3 and round number 1 for the Australian Grand Prix. If you guys missed the preview episode guys, in which we revealed the livery, our teammate, and all the new things that are coming this season guys, then go check the episode out guys. I'll leave it linked up in the top right hand corner of the screen, and in the episode you've got all the upgrades we did over the winter and all the purchases we made, the facilities, all that kind of good stuff. We'll run through it really quickly at the start of today's video, and then we're going to jump straight into the action. So first of all guys, if you're new to the channel, I want to make this very clear and I want to get this plug out of the way. If you're going to enjoy this video, drop me a like guys, it would massively help me out, and also subscribe if you are new to the channel guys. I'm going to try and see if I can hit 60,000 subs by the end of the year. That's the kind of target I'm aiming for, so let's see if we can try and achieve that together. So guys, if you're new, hit that red subscribe button and let's get today's episode underway. Now here we are then, back in the office guys for a new season, the new team wear, which is looking absolutely fresh and made by my friend Chris Dix. I'll leave a link down below guys. And I realised in the office that something wasn't quite right, and yeah, I don't know who it is because he hasn't got a head to recognise him, but some part of my staff has lost a head somewhere, so I don't know what the hell happened. Either way guys, let's quickly run you through the updates. So as you can see on the facilities for the start of the new season, we have our 4 main ones all on level number 2, which is great, and things are looking positive. We then move to the contract screen, if you will, with our teammate Mr. Daniel Ricciardo, and heading into the season he is 99 rated. You can see the brand new driver suits again. We showed these off in the previous preview episode, but again Chris Dix done a fantastic job with these. They look absolutely unreal. I made the car, Chris made everything else, so the race suits, the gloves, the team wear, looking absolutely mega, and really happy with it. We then also move into our helmet, our brand new helmet for the season, and it's very similar to my career mode one with the Red Bull team, but we've tweaked the sponsors, made the adjustments accordingly, and we have a brand new, as you can see, Martini title sponsor on the visor and the Martini stripes on the helmet, of course, so it fits the theme. So overall everything looking very fresh. But we're now going to move into the highly requested driver market. So you can see here we've got Ricciardo as our teammate, and then it's all change at Alfa Romeo. So Kimi and Gio are gone. Kimi of course retired, Giovinazzi has moved on, therefore Nick De Vries and Jack Aitken are both into Alfa Romeo, which is insane. So 2 new fresh drivers, Lance Stroll to Alfa Tauri alongside Danny Kvyat, and then Kevin Magnussen has moved from Haas to Racing Point alongside Sergio Perez. And pretty big moves, not so much at the top of the table, more at the bottom. So for example, Ferrari have stayed the same, no changes with the Italian team. But for example, at Haas now, because Kevin Magnussen went to Racing Point, Antonio Giovinazzi has moved from Alfa to Haas. McLaren, they've stayed exactly the same. Norris and Sainz are still there for yet another season, so no changes there for those guys. And we then move on to Mercedes as well. Like I said before, the top teams haven't changed much, so it's still Lewis and Bottas driving for the Black Arrows, and then we've got Red Bull, Alexander Albon, and of course Mr. Max Verstappen as well. So again, no surprises there. We then move into Renault. This is quite interesting because it's Pierre Gasly who's moved from Alfa Tauri to Renault alongside his, you could say, real life enemy, someone they don't get on well, and it's Mr. Esteban Ocon. So a really interesting dynamic there, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon together, which is going to be really interesting. 2 French drivers in a French team, they don't get on well, so there could be some tension there this season, so we'll keep an eye on that. But that's going to be a very tasty rivalry moving into the brand new season. And then at Williams we've got Nicholas Latifi, and also alongside him of course Mr. George Russell, so no changes at Williams. And then of course you might be wondering, where is Mr. Mick Schumacher? Well, unfortunately nobody wanted to pick him up, so Mick Schumacher is now a free agent. So all good things must come to an end. We tried it with Mick Schumacher, and we had to take another step, move up to the next level, and Mick wasn't quite ready, so unfortunately we had to let go. But then again, it's part of life and the way F1 works. Either way, we move into the laptop this weekend. You can see the weather forecast looking very positive, no rain expected, which is great. And with that, we now move into the confirmation of Kimi Raikkonen's retirement, as you mentioned before, and of course Jack Aitken and Nick De Vries taking those alpha seats. And let's talk about the R&D graph. off now, shall we? So, as you can see, after the winter, and Mercedes have brought some upgrades, but we are one of the stronger teams over the winter. Red Bull also pretty close to us as well. We haven't progressed as much as I would have liked, and that's a bit of a shame, but having said that, the foundations are in place now to have a great season. We've already got 1100 R&D points to our name, and hopefully we can add some more to that at the end of the episode. And then finally, before we jump into the action, we're going to look at the R&D in progress, and you can see we've got an engine upgrade on the way for the ERS, so hopefully that upgrade should be on the card before the next race in Bahrain. So with that said, we then move into the very first practice session of season number 3, guys, and we're going to get this underway. So oh man, I'm excited. I really am. You know, it's been a while. I've been away for a few days as well, but you know, I just want to drive this beautiful brand new car on the track because it looks absolutely insane. Here we are, as you can see, in practice, and getting the 97003 shaken down for the first time around here. And we've got the matte finish, the matte paint on the blue and the black, and it looks absolutely insane, even in the sunlight or in, you know, even in overcast conditions. It just looks so beautiful. And after practice, we was very, very good. To be fair, the car was quick. We went quickest in FP1 on the soft tires. Having said that, we do seem to be lacking a little bit of one lap pace. After practice, we scored pretty much 1,000 R&D points, and that is the difference having Daniel Ricciardo as my teammate compared to Mick Schumacher. So some big gains for us after that, and we're very close now to level 20 and getting a 4th and final sponsor added onto the car. So lots of things happening, but like I said before, the pace on one lap doesn't seem particularly great. You know, the long runs look a lot better, and the race pace looks a lot stronger. So I'm just kind of hoping we can do some damage limitation, to be honest, in qualifying, because I think we may struggle. You can see here we're on board and we get a bit loose, so you guys can enjoy the brand new look of the car with the, you know, the racing gloves, the new helmet, the custom halo with the big subscribe in the middle of the halo underneath the Veloce logo. And we're going to end our first qualifying lap here in Q1, and I thought this lap would be enough, but actually it was only P13. It was actually very disappointing, and I realized quickly I had to improve. A 118.0 was not going to cut it. So we then go back out for a second one, and we're half a second up on this one. So this was me kind of, you know, being a lot more serious, and there wasn't a lot of time left on the table. This was me pretty much going 100% flat out because I had to get through. We're currently P17, so this lap has to be good, and you can see here we're finding time absolutely everywhere here as we make our way through the final corner, opening up the DRS, and we're now going to run the car up to the line, and we're going to improve by about 0.8 of a second and move up into the top 6, and that will be good enough to progress hopefully into Q2. So we still have a bit of a scare, you know, running in P17, but like I mentioned, the one lap pace wasn't quite there, and we had to really step it up. The problem is I've not left much on the table, so that was already a very strong lap for me, a 117.2. Ricciardo with a 117.0 in third place, and the Mercedes, as always, as you'd expect, with a 1.2. But we then move into Q2, and unfortunately I didn't have enough soft tyres, so I had to do my first run on mediums, and to be fair, it wasn't a terrible lap, but it didn't reflect that in the lap time, so it was really slow. So you'll see now we've crossed the line, and we're going to sit at 118.3, which was 0.3 off our first run in Q1. So we go P11 and last, as you'd expect. So it's all down to this, a minute 50 to go, our final set of soft tyres, and this lap has to be good enough to get into Q3. Will we achieve that? We're about to find out, guys. Let's go for a lap of Australia. I'm going to commentate this one for a change. So here we go, down towards turn number 1, down to 5th gear. Bring the car to the left and really attack those apexes and exit curbs as we let the car run nice and wide out of turn 2. We then race down towards turn 3, brake down to 3rd gear, possibly 2nd if you need it for the extra rotation, and then quickly back up to 3rd and 4th as we just clip the grass on the right hand side there. That cost us a little bit of time, just not optimizing the line through turn 4, and overall a slightly scruffy sector 1, but we're still up on Perez, which is good. So we definitely need to find more time, and we've got a long way to go yet. So here we are then, now making our way towards this 90-degree right, which feeds into a left-hander, and you're kind of accelerating on a bend, so very difficult to get the traction down through there as we now maximize the back straight, and we're going to throw the car in here to the far chicane. Very good commitment through there, and just a small lift, but generally speaking, carrying the speed beautifully in 7th gear. We then make our way through the next series of corners, and we've got a couple of 90-degree rights to start sector 3. Important to use the entry and exit curbs, and then the penultimate corner here, 2nd gear, try and open up the line, and then really get that power down as soon as possible. Early apex for the final corner, using all the runoff curb as we open DRS, and we are going to improve by about 1.2 seconds and move up into P7. So a very good lap, less than a tenth off Lando Norris in P5, and that lap would be enough to see us through into Q3 just in P10. So we just make it, which is great news for us, and into Q3 in the first race. And again, reflecting, the fact we may not have great one-lap pace. And Ricciardo there, P4. He's only 3 tenths quicker than me, actually. So we're not that far away, but there's a lot of cars in between us because the midfield is so competitive this year. Pierre Gasly in the Renault in 3rd place. Great job from him. And Mercedes, a class above really, especially Lewis Hamilton. He looks really, really quick. Of course, the defending champion, the 7-time world champion, commanding here in Q2. But with that said, we now move into Q3. So here we go then, jumping into Q3, and this first lap was on used tyres because I didn't have 2 fresh sets of soft tyres remaining, so I had to go out on the set that we used for the very first run in Q1. And to be fair, we did a really good lap. We actually are going to match our personal best lap of the weekend, a 117.2, which was our lap to qualify in Q2. And that was on used tyres, so a very good lap. The track evolution is a thing, so the track is getting quicker. We're currently P8, and this was my final lap and my best lap of qualifying. So let's see how it is, and we're going to see how fast we can really go around the Albert Park circuit. So enjoy the lap, guys, and I'll get back to you when it's over. And here we go at the final corner, opening the DRS as we run the car up to the line. And we're going to set a pretty good lap, actually, a personal best. And I think we just scraped into the 116s as we finish Q3 in P7. So a very good qualifying for us. And there indeed confirmation that we did set a 116.9. So we pulled a very big lap out the bag right at the end when it really matters. And Mercedes, I mean, a 116.1 from Bottas. Absolutely unbelievable lap from him. 3 tenths quicker than Lewis Hamilton, and Albon up in 3rd place, the only Red Bull in Q3 as Verstappen got knocked out in Q2, and the Ricciardo P5, Magnussen sneaking up into the top 4 as well, and quite a mixed up grid to be fair, but for us P7, I'm actually really happy with that. The lap was perfect. The Q3 lap was it. There was nothing else left in the car. Like, that was one of my best ever qualifying laps in this game. I genuinely think it was. No more time to find, and I can't complain. Only a tenth off Ricciardo, considering our pace deficit over 1 lap. I'll take that. That's a strong qualifying from us, and I know the race pace is better, so I'm looking forward to it. Either way, guys, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into a quick little interview.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of good drivers around us. I think looking at the Red Bulls, maybe Max Verstappen.
What was your teammate's secret to success today?
I think he just done a better job than me, to be honest. He was able to just push flat out and get more out of the car compared to what I could do, to be honest.
Your qualifying pace didn't put you at the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
Obviously, it's not ideal, but we'll make the best of a bad situation.
Do you think your teammate was enjoying themselves in front of their home crowd?
Oh, for sure. I think Daniel always enjoys racing in front of his home crowd, so I have no doubts about that. Either way, it's a home race for him, but we're here to get some good results this weekend.
Appreciate your time.
And after qualifying, we're going to have a quick look at the team acclaim, and things are looking pretty decent. Not much of a change really now. We're really struggling to get any kind of benefit from the acclaim after any session really, but we're close to level 17. We're gradually getting there, and things are looking more and more positive. So hopefully we can try and get closer. But generally speaking, it's been a good start to the weekend. Let's see if we can try and improve it here as we head into the race for round 1 of Season 3 for the Australian Grand Prix.
It's finally time once again to begin what promises to be another thrilling season of Formula One action. Pre-season times, subject of so much discussion in recent weeks, mean nothing now, as the cars line up to battle it out for points once again. So let's get this season underway. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Sainz, Martinez, Norris, Gasly, and Lance Stroll, Verstappen, Ocon, Charles Leclerc, and Perez, Vettel, De Vries, Daniel Kvyat, and Jack Aitken, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Latifi, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay guys, so this is it, round one of the season. The Australian Grand Prix is here and we're starting from P7 on the grid, so not too bad after qualifying. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, we are lacking a bit of pace around here compared to the AI, at least on one lap pace. I think in the race we're going to be a lot more competitive, so hopefully that does come to fruition and we can try and have a better Sunday. And to be fair, I'm aiming for a podium. I think that could be possible in this first race, and if we can get any points off the Mercedes cars, that would be a bonus because they are so quick at the moment. It's so hard to beat them. But with that said, we've got the home hero, Daniel Ricciardo, right in front of us there in P5. We start from P7. Strategy-wise, it's a one-stopper. We're going to start on the soft tyres, move on to the hards, and box around lap 9, more or less. I might go a lap longer. We'll see how that goes. Fuel-wise, though, I'm going to actually run 0.5 negative, so a slightly underfueled car, because I feel like that might help us get a bit more longevity out the first intake, slightly less out of the tyres, and just have a stronger race. So let's see how it goes, guys. This is my first time back on the game in about 3 days, so I might be slightly off the pace for the first few laps of the race, so I'm looking forward to it. Either way, let's get this one underway. It's time for the Australian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's see if we can get those optimal revs, which we do. The lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go for a brand new season. Oh, what a start. We've absolutely flown off the line here into turn one, side by side with our teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Ricky's got a slightly better line through there. I'm going to have to just hang back for now. We don't quite get the traction out of turn two. We've got Norris there challenging around the outside in the McLaren. I don't want to go too late on the brakes and hit my teammate, but we are going to control and reclaim P6. So we gain a place off the line, and we're now directly behind our teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. So not too bad of a start, making one place. And now we're going to see what the race pace is like. Like I said, I've been away for a few days, so I'm going to need to get up to speed quickly on this because otherwise we might be in trouble. Looking like Albon's actually got himself up into P2, so it's not Mercedes 1-2 just yet, which is good news in terms of, you know, otherwise they just walk off into the distance. So we may have a bit of a race on our hands. The key thing for now, though, is trying to get past Magnussen, who is definitely outperforming that racing point up in P4. So hopefully myself and Ricciardo can put some pressure on him there as we have a big old moment out of the far chicane. So yeah, I'm going to get my head down now, start pushing because I've been away for a few days and I need to get my pace up a little bit. Okay, Bottas setting the pace, 120.7.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We're just waiting now. I think Magnussen might just be out of Hamilton's DRS range. I'm also putting some pressure on Ricciardo. I feel like I'm slightly quicker than my teammate, so I want to try and look for a move soon. But let's see if Ricciardo, first of all, can get past Magnussen. If he can do it himself, that would be great for us as a team. If not, I'm going to have to get past my teammate and make a move here. Personal best, Ricciardo is not doing that well at the minute. He's actually dropping back from Magnussen here. And Magnussen actually benefiting from Hamilton's DRS quite a lot, so we're going to have to maybe explore the opportunity of getting past Ricciardo this lap as I run it a bit deep into turn 3. So we need to start making some progress now, because I feel like I've actually got enough pace to get past Albon in P2 and secure a second place at this point in time. I've got so much more pace than Ricciardo now. He's really struggling, and he's out of the DRS range of Magnussen. Good news is we've pulled away from Norris behind. Let's see if we can maybe get the move done through here. Through the far chicane. Oh, on the limit there for grip. Here we go, DRS and overtake mode. Not quite close enough. I thought we may have been able to do it there, but Ricciardo, to be fair, was pretty good through the far chicane. We'll stick with him though, see if we can make a move on the first two straights. I just feel like I've got the pace for P2 and don't want to throw it away, so here we go then. Oh, I've made a bit of a mess of that. Just lost the back end slightly there. At the final corner on the pit straight, here we go. Ricciardo goes defensive. We're going to commit to this anyways. Down the inside into turn 1. And through we go. I was thinking about going into turn 3, but I had too much momentum there to not make the move. So there we go. We're past our teammate. Up to P5 on lap 6. Let's see if we can close up to the 3 cars ahead. Then maybe debate maybe an undercut or an overcut, depending on what strategy these guys go for. We'll go for an opposite strategy. A car feels absolutely unbelievable in race trim, like so competitive. Like I said, I really feel like we've got some serious pace, and to be fair, I kind of knew that. I knew we was down on 1 lap pace. That's just the nature of the AI around here, around Australia, on 110 AI, but the race pace is a different story. We are really competitive. We're now just outside of Magnussen's DRS, but we should hopefully be there. Personal best sector 1, and there we go. We're now within a second, so we're looking good here. Plenty of ERS. I've realized already the car is super efficient when it comes to deploying ERS, so I've been using a lot of it, and it's just not going down. The car is just unbelievably, efficient with it. It saves it so quickly, and it's just so good.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Meanwhile, Ricciardo behind, struggling for pace. I don't know what's happened to him in the race, but he's struggling now because he's got Norris for company, and he can't quite keep up with me. So a disappointing race so far from Ricciardo. I expected more from, of course, the 99 rated teammate. Whoa. Getting a bit too loose there. Tire temperature is just going a bit too high. Gotta be careful with that. But that was a very, very scary moment there. We just managed to catch the car. Just got to see if we can stay within DRS range of Magnussen here, using a bit of overtake and rich mix. At the minute though, when I get close, I get a lot of dirty air from 3 cars, and it's kind of hard to make progress. So at this point in time, we're just kind of waiting for the pit stops and see if that opens up the strategy slightly. Look at this, we're so close to Magnussen now. I'm scheduled to pit this lap, but I'm contemplating an overcut. It depends how many of these 3 cars box this lap, but I am really, really racy here. Let's see if we can get the run through here. I'm just struggling so much with the dirty air. I just don't have the front end, especially on these tyres now, which are pretty worn out, and therefore I can't really challenge Magnussen. But in the slow corners, we are so quick. Ricciardo's still ahead of Norris, but again, they're losing so much time. I don't know what's happened to Ricciardo's pace. He was doing okay in the first part, but he's dropped off. Let's see who pits. Okay, so 2 cars in. That means we're going to stay out. I reckon I can get past Magnussen here. Let's see if that's true. Bottas, of course, stays out on the race lead. Come on. Let's push. I wonder. Oh, no, running a bit too hot. Mistake. I was trying to close up to Magnussen there and make a move, but unfortunately, I pushed a bit too much. I'm expecting Bottas and Magnussen to pit this lap. I'm going to stay out for 1 more, try and go for an overcut. See if we can get Magnussen. Oh, never mind. Magnussen stays out for 1 more lap himself. Okay, interesting. Well, he doesn't have DRS this time, so I might be able to pass him on track. Ricciardo pits. Okay, we're right on Magnussen's gearbox this time. I wonder if I can just try and stay close through the far chicane. That racing point, whenever it's using overtake, is so damn quick on the straight. It's unbelievable. That's pretty good though from us. Very tidy. And we've now got ourselves within DRS range. We're going to go around the outside. Getting squeezed a little bit, but we're through. Lovely move. So if Magnussen does pit this lap, then we've got the jump on him. Good timing on the overtake, but we're now going to box for the hard compound tyres. Just making sure we've got those selected, which we do. And actually, Magnussen stays out. So I'm guessing Magnussen's staying out to the medium tyres, which is interesting. But we're going to box for hard tyres. So we should have the freshest hard tyres out of the field, in theory, along with Magnussen and Perez. So let's see where we rejoin here. We need a quick stop from the boys.
Complete, go now.
2.3, that's good. The mechanics looking pretty good in their new pit crew gear. Here comes Bottas.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
It's going to be close with Albon here into turn 1. Very, very close. We give him a squeeze, but we're through. And look at that. We're ahead of Albon and Hamilton. The overcut has paid off. We've got both of them on track. And that would give us a net P2. Now, it depends where Magnussen is. But a brilliant overcut there, staying out 2 laps. And that worked out okay for us because the hard tyre takes quite a while to get into the zone. And the soft tyres on my car didn't feel that bad. So that's why we went a bit longer. And that has worked out beautifully for us. And we're now 3.3 behind Bottas. So could we challenge for a race win? Let's find out. The pace has been strong today, but is it strong enough to catch Valtteri? We'll find out. We've got to start chipping away at this gap now. We've still got 17, 18 laps to go. So let's see if we can try and do that. First order of business, though, is to get out of a second from Albon behind, because until we shake him out of the DRS range, Albon will always be a threat. So we've got to try and pull away here. Okay, Magnussen in the pit lane, and indeed he's gone to the medium tyres, and we've undercut Magnussen there, which is great. So we are now in a net P2 in this race, which is insane. What a race so far. Strategy on point. Now let's see if we can hold on in this final stint on these hard tyres. I'm absolutely flying here. Looks like we've got Kvyat and Vettel in the pit lane, so up to P3 as we set a new fast lap of the Grand Prix. Okay then. Game on. Gap to Bottas down to 2.4. We are really flying here. To be fair, Bottas is slower than not just me, but also Hamilton and Albon as well. So this race may not be over yet. Signs out the race already in the McLaren, so confirmation that McLaren is still as unreliable as it ever has been. That's the one flaw of that car. It can be quick, but the reliability is not great. Either way, let's continue on. No safety car VSC. We are flying here. Gap to Bottas, 2.2. We can win this race. There is signs of stricken McLaren.
Caution, yellow flags ahead. No overtaking through the caution zone. Be careful until you see the greens.
Yep, and now we've got Charles Leclerc in the pit lane. And with that, we're now back up to our second place. Gap to Bottas, now inside 2 seconds. We're flying, really, really pushing on here. The car feels incredible. We've gained 2 tenths through turns 1 and 2 alone. Oh, Gasly takes away the fastest lap, 120.3. That might be a bit too much to beat, I think. That's a bit too quick. But that's a shame because I would have liked the extra point. But anyway, forget that. Let's focus back on the race. Bottas has picked up his pace this lap a little bit. He's kept the gap there at 1.9. So I've got to try and find something here to respond to Valtteri's pace increase. Whoa, pushing the limits again now. I'm really trying to find some time to get Bottas here, but I'm taking some big risks in the process. I can't match Bottas now. I was on the limit before, and I've not stopped. I'm hitting personal best first sectors and everything, but I just can't catch him now. I don't know what happened with Bottas, but his pace has changed, and now I'm running flat out, and I just can't make a dent anymore. The gap is staying exactly the same, which is frustrating, but you never know, things might still go away. I'm pushing so hard, but I just can't make a dent. I've had a couple personal best sectors over the last couple of laps, but I just can't seem to get within DRS range of Bottas, and I'm absolutely on it here. Gap down to 1.5, the lowest it has been, but still feels so far away. Looks like we might just hit a personal best here. There we go. Gap slowly coming down. I'm not giving up on this. Just keeping the relentless pace up. Pushing all the time. Looks like Bottas has just released the pace. Gap back up to 1.9 now. Let's get to that point where the AI go for their fastest lap of the race. So I feel like Bottas is starting to level up a bit now. Well, the gap now 2.4 seconds. Definitely I've given up now. I'm just going to accept second place and bring the car home. And we still need to save a little bit of fuel to get on target. So I'm just going to focus on hanging on really and bring this one home and dry, because this is definitely more than I expected. Hamilton P4 as well. This is going to be a great opening race result for us, I think. Looks like we'll squeeze out one more personal best out of these tyres and fuel into the mid-20s, but Pierre Gasly currently holds the fastest lap. That fastest lap from Pierre Gasly is a 119.4, so There's no purple laps today, and also crucially Bottas won't be able to achieve the fastest lap, so at least that's a good thing. Mercedes won't be getting the extra point. Well, here we go. Through the final sector now, just trying to cruise to the finish. Save a little bit of the engine for future races in the season. Bottas wins it today, and it's fully deserved. I tried to push him, but he was too quick for us here today. But we are going to come through for a brilliant, and to be fair, unexpected second place finish. So I'll take that. A great first race, and we outscore the champion. Let's go.
Yes, 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 we're on the podium. Good job this weekend. Great drive. Thank you.
We've witnessed some great battles on the streets of Melbourne today, and they've taken a fantastic win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well then guys, there we go. The results are in and race 1 is in the books. As you can see, Ricciardo in the end finishes P6, and he did, to be fair, comfortably beat Lando Norris, but I'm not quite sure what happened in that first stint. I think Ricciardo had some issue because he was way off the pace. Because if you look at his fastest lap, he did a 1:19.9, which is the second fastest lap behind Bottas in the top 10. So Ricciardo clearly had the pace, he just didn't seem to find a way to show it in that first stint, maybe on those soft tyres. Either way, Bottas wins. We finished second. Albon on the podium in third place, and he comfortably outperformed Max Verstappen this weekend, which was the big surprise. Hamilton P4, Magnussen up in P5, great drive from him. We've got Lando P7 ahead of Verstappen, who only manages P8 ahead of Perez and Ocon. Both Ferraris out the points. Leclerc, Vettel, Kvyat, Jack Aitken P14 for Alfa Romeo ahead of Nick De Vries, who is in P15, his teammate Romain Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi, Pierre Gasly in the Renault, 18th in the Renault, and he also got the fastest lap here today. And then Russell, Stroll, Latifi, and Carlos Sainz, who of course DNF'd here today. We then move into the Constructor Standings. Of course, the drivers is exactly the same as the final race results, so there's no need to address this. And in terms of constructors, we are in second place behind Mercedes, 11 points adrift, and we are 7 points clear of Red Bull Racing. So a good opening race, and again, good damage limitation. It wasn't a 1-2 for Mercedes. We managed to get a second place and get ahead of one of the Mercs, which is great. Hopefully in future races, Ricciardo can be a bit more strong on race pace. Bahrain, the next one, I'm going to be carried by Ricciardo around there, to be honest. So I think that's going to be a big race for Daniel to try and help me out in that one. But either way, guys, that's it for race 1. We're now going to move into the laptop and put some upgrades onto our car.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
To be fair, I was just going flat out. The car was absolutely brilliant today, and the result was definitely not expected. I think we wanted a podium. We expected Mercedes to get 1-2, so to get second place was brilliant, and that is credit to the team. We've done a lot of work over the winter, and multiple departments, but the car, we can just push it, and it's so damn quick.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Well, maybe people should expect a little bit more. I think this year we're pushing for the title. We're serious when we say that. We're not messing around, and I think people should realise.
Do you feel that your teammate put on a good show for the home crowd?
I think so. I think he could have done better. I think we all know how Daniel likes to perform, but I think he'd rather say that to you than me say that to you. Either way, I'm sure the fans would have wanted a show today, and I think Ricciardo tried his best.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And there we go then. After the race, we look at our very first new rivalry breakdown. And as you can see, we outscored Verstappen by 3 extra points. So a very good start to the season there. And I just can't get over how good the race suits look. I'm really, really in love with them. They look absolutely unbelievable. After that race, we actually don't get any acclaim bonus, whereas Ricciardo actually gains a bit, even though we finished in P2, Ricciardo finished in P6, which is a bit strange. Either way, we've progressed nicely. We've gained a nice amount of cash as well, hitting all of our sponsor targets. There was some small damage deductions for Ricciardo, not quite sure exactly what that's for, but either way, a decent weekend all round, and we're well over $15 million. So hopefully we'll try and invest some of that in today's episode. So we are back on the laptop, and unfortunately there is a bit of bad news, and that is one of the upgrades did fail. The engine upgrade for the ERS, which we had planned, has actually failed on us, so we're going to have to repurchase that straight away and hopefully get on the car. It is going to mean, though, we're not going to have it in time for the Bahrain Grand Prix, which is a bit of a shame because that's what I was hoping to have it for, as Bahrain is a power circuit. But we still have 2,000 points to spend, so looking at the options, we've got quite a few chassis upgrades, and to be fair, the ultimate ones are starting to stack up now, so I might purchase an ultimate upgrade for the chassis, and I'm going to go for this one here for the hydraulics for a weight redistribution upgrade. So we'll get that on the car, and that's going to arrive after Vietnam. I'm going to rush it, I think. Do I rush it? It's going to be expensive if we have to repurchase, that's the thing. You know what, we'll be patient. We'll go standard. It's early days in the season yet. We'll go standard because, you know, repurchasing an ultimate upgrade is going to be very, very expensive. So anyway, that's it. Upgrades sorted out. We're then going to move over to the activities. We've only got 2 days until the next race, so quite a short turnaround. And what we're going to go for in this one is going to be, I think a bit of G-Force training. I think Ricciardo, maybe he could do with a bit of an improvement. So we'll go for some G-Force training from Mr. Daniel Ricciardo. And with that, I think we're ready to skip on, guys, to the next race in Bahrain. Okay guys, so there we go, job done at Australia, a very solid first race. We then go to Bahrain, which is going to be the next episode, and to be fair, this one's going to be a tough one because Bahrain, historically the AI are very strong around here, so I'm expecting a stronger race from Daniel Ricciardo, but we'll see how that goes. Either way guys, that is it for episode 1 of season 3. If you guys enjoyed it, then drop me a like, it massively helps me out guys. Let's see if we can try and smash 2,000 likes for today's episode. Also guys, if you want to subscribe for more daily F1 content, then hit that red subscribe button on my channel with notifications turned on, and also check out the 2 videos on screen right now if you have missed them. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.